It is a 12-map winning streak, though, and that's probably the key issue, is even though there's been some close scorelines, and it's been down to the wire, there is a lot of green when it comes to wins for Fiend on Dust 2.
Imagine that might just extend right here against 4Glory, but 4Glory have already surpassed expectations and just barely been able to get their own map pick on the table. Let's see whether they can do the exact same and push them pretty far here over on Dust 2. Fiend's map pick on the T side start, they'll go, and in towards long control is where they'll start to play on the pistol round. Smokes down to the cross. On both cross positions, Bubble will lean up first with a Glock out. Kindo's been tagged pretty heavily already into this one. Bubble can get a pretty easy kill. He's struggling to get that one kill shot, though. Kindo and Collins get tagged up and forced back out of position. The bomb will go down.
So much damage going into that CT side, and for Collins, he's just trying to hide. See if he can get a bait set up in for the CTs. Coming in quickly from short.
Well, looks on, tries to contact against these players. It's Kindo, AVN. They get those 2 kills together. Victor can trade back 1 onto D. Struggling to get that second player as well. The trades are good for the CT forces. A 3-on-2 advantage. Collins and Kindo are extremely low. They'll jump face, look for the player on site, isolate him. Dreamer comes up with 1 pick, evaded on the second and third individuals. Trying to see if he can knock them down to low HP. Eventually gets that tap to the next kill, but not quite as triple as AVN with a Quadra, who started the round off on such low HP, will end on low HP, but gets a pistol for 4Glory.
Now, AVN doing work in that pistol, and he was one of the guys that got them just over the line when it came back to that last end of Inferno in round 30 itself. And for the Ts, so many Gooshes coming down. Collins low, Kindo low, finally, AVN falls down quite to the Goosh position, and for Dreamer just not being able to deal with 8 HP and 3 HP respectively. AVN winning the clutch. Fiend, even with the position they're in, they are going to start forcing it up, knowing they got a bomb plan in that last.
Big way in, of course, for 4Glory. Again, a pistol that will start them off on this map, their opponent's map pick. Scouts in, brought down by both sides, of course. Rifles are plenty. Fiend got that bomb plant bonus, like you mentioned. The AKs on 2 individuals. A Galil out for Red Star and a Deagle in for Bubble.
Now, this sample size is only 2 games, Jay, but any time in the V4 event, 4Glory have won the first map in the best of 3, they've won the series overall. Coincidence?
Perhaps. Maybe not. I guess we'll find out. Smoke set in, flashes to the ready. Dreamer's going to try to get his teammates out of the gate, but AVN has nothing to do with this. Just no thank you. You're not getting into the site today. Does get overwhelmed by the players eventually. The FAMAS also struggles to deal with kills, but Collins has backup in Serini, and he gets his double up. 2-0 at the start of 4Glory. Nice, easy lockout there for the CT side.
Yeah, Fiend just going for the upper tunnel exec into the B side, get those flashes through. And for AVN, just a multitude of frags coming through. Couple for him, just wasting time, not really peeking at all, allowing the FAMAS at the back of the site of Serini to get into a decent position. Collins on rotate out from mid, continues to do damage as well. And multi-kills continue flowing through. Fiend yet to get started up on T side. 4Glory, perfect opportunity to get a 3-0 start.
In theory, it should be simple enough here. The Deagles are out, the PT-50's in for Victor. Pretty simple, again, to maintain control of this scenario. AK in for Serini, catches the first player. A tap burst on towards the second man as well. Not quite as successful with the kill itself. Eventually, Bubble gets caught by Collins next up, so 4 versus 3. Red Star with 1 good trade. D comes up with a scout kill, trotting out to the AK. Mars also for Kindo leaning in, catching the play up top mid, leaving Victor standing in a 1 versus 4. Simple stuff, 3-0 start. Fiend will be on for the guns in the next round.
Nah, it's only 1 kill. It's not a crazy amount of damage coming in. And I guess players to watch for 4Glory here on Dust 2 has to be Collins. He had an unbelievable performance on that first map. 32 kills and 15 deaths. Over 100 ADR on Inferno when you think it went all 30 rounds. The issue that could prop up, though, is the fact that no one else was really up there. Everyone else had a pretty sort of tight kill distribution between them. No one even really got up past 21, 22 frags outside of Collins for 4Glory.
Ops in. Look up towards that short control for the part of Han, expecting CTs to aggress out that angle. Kindo just waits. And the longhouse position. Nade set for Collins. Will try dish out some damage. Ball to land on Victor. Do something. No kill.
Flash over the top, just gain that short control for the T side, be able to see if they can press themselves forward. There, it does open up an opportunity to go for a short fake and actually go into the B split. You've got Dreamer still in the upper tunnels who hasn't been gathering information.
Smoked, the boost missed out, re-smoked across, might allow Collins an angle to work with. It's Harm that gets that opening kill at long last, opening up the B-side play. AVN's got so many blind players, but can't capitalize on those kills. Red Star and Harm clean house on all the mid and B presence, and it's got to be safe for D and Kindo.
Well, they made that look easy, didn't they? Yeah, the util wasn't exactly there in terms of on-point precision down from the mid to B. The entries, though, were everything. We see Harm with a couple of kills with the Orb, Red Star coming through for the mid play, and even Dreamer, who's the lurk in the upper tunnels, he's not even necessary because all the picks just come through from those two individuals.
It felt so simple indeed. Harm definitely stepping up to the table here again. I had my reservations about him before the series had begun because of the slow start that he had over in yesterday's match against Vissla. Seeing him step up and become the main entry fragger for this particular map up. Of course, holding his numbers in from the previous one as well. Leaves Fiend in with a first. And well, buy potential, of course, will come back for 4Glory. They can afford with their 2 save weapons. We should be seeing a rebuy.
It all just comes down now to what can 4Glory act in terms of the response. And, well, it does seem like Sereni's going to go for the AWPing. We know that Collins took up a few of those chances in terms of the double AWPs roll. Does need to go back and get a weapon. He's only got a USB here. He's got so much money. Okay, there's the M4 finally getting bought.
Shot ringing out for Sereni. Getting that first kill in towards the lower tunnels angle. If I'm missing out with the first casualty, the nade does damage on towards Victor and Red Star, so that's a slight start for 4Glory, but Sereni takes similar tags of his own.
Not smoke from Victor, not quite aggressing up to that Xbox angle at all, and gathering any short position. They've left Bubble as that lurk in from the top mid position itself. It seems like it's going to be another play into the B side.
Orb leaning in, ready for the kill, and lands it onto Hahn. Great shot. Can return by Bubble, however, he returns towards that mid position. Cypher's off rotation positions and may even bait in an A play. For Mars out for Kindo could get caught off guard. He wins that fight against Bubble, and that's all important because now it gets info. They might be back on a rotation, and with D getting flashed off, he'll definitely be wary of the idea of an elbow play. Missing that first shot against the likes of Victor. He'll get towards sight, bomb will get down, and the retake will be on for 4Glory.
It still looks promising on the retake. They've got a couple of kits, they've got some util for D, and they've got that mad advantage. And leaving the AWP to look into the site gives them all the info. The T's have got to be short side.
Orb still watching, hoping for contact, hoping for the T-side players to make their moves in. Flash is going over. Incendiary's on, burst forward for Victor. It's Red Star that gets that next kill. Victor looks back towards Ram, gets Kindo. As Red Star can double up against Sereni, it all leaves it on D, trying to rotate out of dodge. Hold on to that AWP as a save. And 4Glory fall apart on the retake to give Fiend their second. Might even lose the AWP in the end. And indeed, Dreamer takes that final exit.
And I don't personally enjoy pointing the finger, but in that round, you've got to be critical of D. In that situation, he is down there at short. Yes, he does get flashed the first time. The next kill, though, this has got to be coming through from him. And instead, when you miss opportunities like that up against a Fiend side, they're going to overpower. And in that situation, yeah, even though Fiend are down in a 3 versus 4, they're able just to be able to knock it in the post plant because not enough damage is coming through from 4Glory.
Leaves the pistols alone. Damage done to the CT forces, of course, wearing down the economy state. No save weapons at all. Victor could get caught off here towards the upper tunnel. He's got Dreamer there to back him up. The CTs were thinking about their aggressive face. Victor leans in from the lower tunnels. Bubble finds that opening start. Nice effective on Collins.
That was a slight gimmick play, wasn't it, from Fiend? So Victor's just trying to see if he can run forward into the lower tunnels and fake that and mask the sound cue to have Dreamer waiting for that aggression in the upper tunnels itself. Doesn't quite come in. The CTs aren't really thinking about that kind of move. And even out to long, D is going to have a tough time. He's got a USP against, well, pretty much everyone.
And he's dead in an instant. Easy enough for Bubble. USP didn't do much in that one. Couldn't expect it to do much here. In the end, it's kind of a round of throwaway round here for 4Glory. Pistols, upgrades in for Sereni and AVN, seeing what they can do in terms of exit kills and potentially looking for damage. But again, this should be easy enough for Fiend to deal with, as they look to go 3 apiece.
Hoping that the Pistols can find something. If they can recover a weapon, even better. Victor, great off angle. I like this coming through from the crossfire. Does lose his teammate in Red Star.
Race through, Victor finds his kill. We're going to get that trade together, deal with AVM before we can do any more damage. Same thing for Kindo as well. And Sereni left alone wondering what he can do with the Eagle in hand. And the answer to that question is pretty much nothing. And yeah, 3-all to the board. Fiend quickly equalizing against 4Glory stance, and there will be a rebuy back for the CTs.
Yeah, 4Glory, chance now to try and get D back on that AWP. Some of those aggressive moves from Collins up from top mid didn't quite work out the way they would have liked. A simple shot coming into bubble. And then really the Pistols, they tried their best to do as much economical damage as possible. Didn't quite come through. The funds aren't there to go for a double up, so instead they'll just get D on one.
Yeah, you can post up the numbers that he did earlier on during the CT half of Inferno. He had a cracking set of frags over from him in the previous map up. Up to the plate right here. Actually part of that long contention for the CT forces. They'll leave Kindo alone out there. It's just utility being thrown in from Fiend. Have Red Star posted in case he can catch a player rotating back. The M4 might just catch the kill. No, the AK is one better.
Yeah, Red Star was jiggling for what? 15, 20 seconds in that engagement, and for 4Glory, the whole setup is, right, we're going to bring mass numbers out to long, we'll leave the pit player of Kindo, we'll go back into the site, we'll aggress up short, and straight away, as soon as Kindo starts getting antsy and holds off from that pit angle and gets wider, he gets dealt with. Yeah, he tags up Red Star quite heavy, it's still an opening man advantage, and for 4Glory, now the attention is to try and siphon off the mid players.
AVN gets this trade. Serena responded to. Collins can get that AWP with the drop, but only stays alive for a moment. Dreaming with this trade, AVN swings ahead, and Bubble can also respond towards him. Just a back and forth ordeal from both sides. And D now set with the AWP. Going to look for the player in the tunnels. The flashbang going to get his attention drawn away. Red Star's still got this AWP out towards short. I think he might just catch D off. Looking in, and neither player sees each other. D sees him now. What's going on there? The Red Star gets his double, and Fiend will hold the lead. A bit of a pandemonium there in the mid position. I don't know what happened. I don't know why he didn't just take that shot.
Now, I wonder, was Red Star just watching mid? Or was he just trying to have a trigger discipline play and then just looked like it got very awkward? Yeah. Because if he was looking at mid doors, he might not have ever seen him.
He simply jumped onto Xbox and caught him off guard.
I don't know what was going on there. Something.
One to look back on the demos for and figure out what the hell happened. Now, Pistols again for the likes of 4Glory. No casualties should be taken in this one. Han and Dreamer cleaning house against 3 individuals. B-side's open. This will be 5th to the board of Fiend.
And what I did enjoy in the last round as well is just the trading game from Fiend. Yeah, they were able to win out that opening fight from long, and then from there, everyone is just backing each other up. And for 4Glory, what that's going to mean is individual fights and being able to really find advantages is going to be tough. Because anytime you think as if you found an advantage, right, there's a trade back. Because Fiend just played together so close on Dust 2. They're all in trading positions. They don't quite spot out D, and the AK drops. So there's one kill. The weapon isn't saved in. Not really much being found.
Fight 3 on the board here for Fiend. Again, recovery off the back of the pistol and conversions that 4Glory had gained. A couple of ecos in there for the CT side. And now this one should turn into a gun round. Before we get there, though, is a tactical timeout for 4Glory. Pretty liberal with their tacticals in the last map. Wouldn't shock me if this one was the same.
Hey, Han has been able to put on some decent performances here on map 1 and now going into map 2. I'm sure that Fiend would love to hold on to him, because anyone noticing what's happened to the last few Bulgarian AWPers? It seems that they're always getting snapped up, right?
The national squad's calling.
Yeah.
Well, if Hahn keeps having inconsistent performance, I don't know if his call-up's really going to be called in at this stage, especially as D wins that opening frag. So effective against the AWP. Victor tries to pick it back up and dish out the damage. He's got the bomb in his control. Just looking for headshots, just foreheads being popped up and over, and D's going to catch him for it. Another great kill. Kindo found one in the mix somewhere else on the map, so it's a 5v2 for 4Glory.
Do you know what we are seeing a lot more now with this new update is AWP duels in from mid. Normally it used to just be posted, going for the spot, see if they can get the cross, hope for a tag or a leg shot to come through from the T-side AWP, but instead now we're seeing so much more contest with the AWPs looking to try and take fights into one another. Bubble trying to see if he can get the clutch on, does bait out the AWP up into T-spawn, and Collins does drop.
One pick in for him, and no third for Bubble. CTs will find their fourth and once again go within one of Fiend's lead. This sequence towards mid, though, real good shooting from D. Talked a little bit about how the new update could provide just one simple angle that the CTs can pre-fire with the AWP, and of course we're seeing a lot of swings rather than going for wallbangs. But they are working for the CT side. They may want to challenge mid pretty effectively now, and D's going to go for it another second time in a row. Can't quite catch him this time. Han's a little bit further ahead.
Serenity out for the lower tunnels, dealing with the first, the second. He's done a lot of damage onto Red Star, and even Kindo just putting further util down to the longhouse. He's even thinking about making an aggressive move.
Smokes back, AK, tap burst through, Serenity can find his double in the end. Han can respond with a wallbang straight to the head. Through the mid doors, a 4-on-3 in series 4Glory. D could also be traded pretty easily. What is Kinder? Oh, Han. Han might be ready for this, though. He's got the right angle with the crosshair placement, and he adjusts to get that flick.
And it's moments like that where I like the idea and the approach. Why is it coming out, though? Sereni's got 2 kills in the lower tunnels. He just got out before falling. They've got a 4-on-3, and then they're just pressing the issue out from Longhouse unnecessarily. Oh, upper tunnels push, too.
Oh, yeah. AVN, what's he going to catch? Not much. Dreamer just going to wait and watch the angle, and there's not a lot of utility support for these CT players. One of the reasons why they're getting picked off. Now the AK is watching that mid control. Collins will flash his way back out, try to look towards the B doors and catch off Dreamer. Another good 1v1 that could go either way. Footstep heard. M4 watching. Flicks back. Does connect it and keep the trades at evens. But now with 1 player per site, Fiend can go wherever they want and still find the advantage of the man. 28 seconds and the hit comes through towards the A site. It's D set with the AWP. Low HP, but 1 shot per player is all he needs to win this round. That flick to Red Star is so on point. He will concede the bomb plant, but it's a 2v1 of the retake.
Yeah, plant open for short, and for hard, he just needs picks. Needs to try and isolate these fights. He's going aggressive up from short side. Instead, Collins is coming all the way on the wraparound.
Pops in. Ooh. And he's caught him. There comes the kill. D secures the round again for 4Glory. 5 apiece. The CTs try and go toe-to-toe with Fiend again.
And that was much better from D. We've seen him posted on that car angle before, and it wasn't all that successful last time. This time around, though, 2v2 situation, and he's just able to come through. Great little tap-up coming through from Serenity. Flick back down for Han to bring it into a 3-on-3. And even for Dreamer, he gets that opening pick onto AVN. Probably just thinks the B-side's completely opened up. Even with that smoke going down from Red Star, the pick comes in just before it blooms, and D makes it a double, gets back onto that defuse, and ties up the scoreline at 5-5.
Quick plays in for the T-side line, of course, going straight back in with the rebuy. 4Glory about to meet them head on. Again, AVN's going to try to push the issue out towards the tunnels at a very aggressive stance. Sereni's AWP set towards the mid-control default, and Fiend generally pretty passive across their line. They don't want to take aggressive faces in towards mid-control, and either they want to lean out from the tunnel's entrance. Detonated, back, flashed out. Victor tanked that 1HE straight to the face, and the incendiary gives him no further progress.
Victor's just waiting for that over-aggressive look out from the short position itself. Collins with a bait and switch. He's got the AWP to back him up on the other side.
Incendiary set as Han finds the kill on Collins. Kicks things off. And those players jump face, missing out on the Xbox position, so Serenity gonna gather info, but not much more than that. Might face in towards Han. Slow walk. The AWP has just done scope to look for util, and Serenity can catch that kill back to a 4 versus 4.
Oh, that is impeccable timing. That drops the bomb. That gives them so much information. Flash being lined up to blind the short players out from Goose. 3 players on A. This is a great read from 4Glory.
Yeah, Kinder just gonna wait for the Q. The AWP That's in on the back of the site. D could also provide support for Sereni here. Gapping that smoke, D's going to start looking up. This could get a bit dangerous if he's not careful. Got to keep his eyes on long and provide support when needed. Sereni with a big flick miss. Kinder with a counter flash back over. They're going to get away from it. But still, the M4 lines up 3. And the AWP there to close out the round. 4Glory regain the lead.
What a great setup. Just the way that they've got both AWPers on A, the M4 playing out from Goose. The timing on that Harm was scoped in on the angle. He unscopes to get a nade out, and so many players being blinded. That is a great flash lineup to use at home. It bounces through the tree, blinds so many players up on the short side. It's one that's incredibly difficult to spot, and even for Sereni, wants another mid pick.
He's been able to win those so many times. So's D. The AWPs at the CT side been on point so far in Dust 2. And the flash is about to come over towards that B side here. Initially, that's what it looked like. It might be a fake execution with a smoke down. Rotations might be drawn, but Fiend are just playing inside of the default in tunnels and towards mid. No short or long presence. They'll start together here for Bubble. The Fiend are desperate to find a way in.
Desperate for an advantage and just try and see if they can tie up the scoreline again rather than being on the back foot. Another one of these short fakes could come through from Bubble, trying to see if he can over-rotate the CT player of Collins. 2 on B, and for Fiend, they've still got a fair bit of time to work with.
Sereni picks up the kill on Han. Great shot. Again, the opening advantage for 4Glory. The secondary AWP of D set to the back of the A site and is ready to receive the execution. Smokes down at CT, flashes to go over, will blind him off so they can dive down, look for the flank in. AVN still finds his kills. 2 of them for him on 8 points of health. Now his teammate on the B site sees where that bomb's coming in from. Red Star going to try act out towards the mid control. They do catch Sereni. The M4's here to support for Collins. Bails out AVN. They have lost the B site, but a 1v4 for Dreamer. They can get it back so quickly, and with time of the essence, the CT's just closing in upon him.
Getting this bomb plant's going to be very difficult. Smoke goes down to the doors to buy some cover. There is that backstab in from Kindo, and for Dreamer, how quickly does he want to try and get this bomb plant in? Try and fake it once as D just aggresses forward with the NWP, makes it one himself, and AVN, when you think about that jump down from short into CT spawn, you think, oh, he's a goner. There's nothing he can do there, and instead he holds his own.
Yeah, real solid stuff again from 4Glory coming back in against Fiend. It's a bit of a streaky kind of game here. But it's working out to the favor of the 4Glory side, now up by 2. And Fiend are the ones calling for the tactical timeout this time. What do they have to adjust to? What do they got to do to maintain confidence?
But they've got some decent long spawns going into the next round, into round 13, so being able to have some pace behind them, see if they can get some more explosive nature, because it's been quite passive. We haven't seen a lot of aggression from them on T-side at all. And just in terms of being able to get players in there, they've got to try and see if they can give Han some support.
Four CTs out into the long control. Trying to aggress in against the likes of Fiend. Catch these players off with the nades down as standard. Damage has been done initially. Nothing major, not quite kill worthy. Kindo still set with the AK back here at pit. D's all ready for the first man. Got a flashback gap out. Blinds him off. Kindo gets caught for it. A smoke down. And D unable to find that trade.
Now, that was an interesting strat coming through from Fiend. Even with the good long spawns, they don't take long immediately. Instead, it's not quite a double pump. It's just a delayed take. Oh, there's a backstab coming through from Collins. Is anyone watching this?
I think the player in the house is Bubble. Access is back turned. Oh, Collins. Collins is so much right here. They're going to walk away. He's going to wait and hope that they rotate back out of position. If Sereni looks towards long, he'll start to realize, and they have got Han as well set with the AWP. Could adjust real quick. The smoke's down to the cross. Collins is still not striking. Serena's going to get caught off. Smoke's back down. Now Orbital looking for the CT player. Seek him. Damage being done. Bubble finds D. Meanwhile, it's a 5 versus 2. Collins can find that one trade. Needs to focus on the AWP, but AVN's got no support. It'll be a 2-pronged attack back in as the M4 swings out towards the rice bags. Gets a kill in. Collins finds Han. It's a 2v2 now. 4Glory have brought this back, but can they hold on to the retake? Not with AVN going down. Collins got a 1v2 clutch to hold now. Incendiary on the site. He knows the one player is. Looks towards him at elbow. Burst. Fire. Can't catch him. Looks towards short. Sees the one man. Gets it back to a 1v1. Now hunting for Bubble. Sees his head. Oh, the spray's good. And 4Glory have stolen the round.
Oh my goodness, what a clutch coming through from Collins. And that whole round, it looks like there's a missed opportunity, a missed window of chance of coming into the backlines, and instead, Collins and AVN again, the masterminds, they bring back a 2v5 for goodness sake.
Oh, Fiend are looking real Larry. Real Larry now. There's a difference between losing rounds and getting pushed to your limit, and then that. Like you say, 2v5. 2v5 for 4Glory, and still, AVN and Collins deserve a massive pat on the back. Another tactical call for Fiend, because they recognize it's not good enough.
No, not at all. And 4Glory, they're working hard, incredibly hard in this situation. And they're playing some good CS. They were really seeing some exciting stuff from them. Kill distribution looks really good. Everyone's having their moments. They are getting closer and closer to double digits at the turn of the half.
Fiend. Imagine they go down 10-5 on T side, by the way, of Dust 2. Fiend's most infamous half, their strongest half on this map is their T half. And again, look at the backstab being set up by Kindo. He's already made his way up towards top mid. The flashbangs in will look for info. They won't catch anything. Might have already made their way in towards the longhouse, and Red Star ducked out of the way. Kindo wins that fight.
Yeah, just so much info plays, so much confidence coming through from that CT side just to push forward, be able to find that pick and fall back. Even up to the A side, the T's are just going to walk forward. The P comes through. It's another one-for-one trade. Hard gets a pick with the scout at least.
That's all important. The only angle of the headshot he could have taken, he took it in hole. 3-on-3, smokes back, flashes over bubbles, going to try cross back. Kindo is still here to the site. He's made his way up in the midst of that chaos. Seen bullets come down his way. Serene turns the AWP in against Dreamer. Shots ringing out towards Goose, not catching the likes of Kindo as AVN finds the bomb carrier, and the swing out for Kindo is so well timed. Just a game of patience for 4Glory as they deny the bomb plant and get 9.
They're really starting to steam ahead, just work with this momentum. And they had, what, the 3-0 start, then it was answered back by 5 rounds from Fiend. So this makes it 6 in a row from 4Glory. The Serbians just working with that thrill, the positivity.
Another timeout taken, another tactical for Fiend. What are they at now, like 3 used already? Things are just not going right. Not going right at all for this squad. Oh, man. One final round of the half as well, Dwayne. Like, what do you do? What do you do?
Well, I want to put some perspective on this. For 4Glory, they don't play Dust 2. They haven't played it at all in their advanced season. They didn't play it in the Adria qualifier. They've played it once on record on HLTV in the last 3 months against K23 and Malta Vibes. That's the only time we've seen them on Dust 2. And knowing the fact that they're already putting this much damage in is a great sign moving forward. What isn't a good sign is Hahn getting that opening peg.
Well, Kindo tries to go for a risky play back out and will lose his life for it. Collins can at least find the trade. Meanwhile, the AK of AVN can line up a spray on several individuals. Only catches one of them as the AWP tries to hold it back. Both AWPs up for a retake here for 4Glory. Nade for Collins. Going to start leaning in at window. Dreamer to look for the contact. He's jump-faced and seen him. Nade's back to the bomb plant position. Is going to be a little bit light. It does do its damage to Red Star. Follow up by the second HE. He gets out of dodge of that one, and the retake is on.
They don't have any incendiaries. There's no way they can really force the T's out into the open. They will re-smoke the upper tunnels. That means Hahn has to move about.
Flashbang in, T-side players not caught. Collins trying to look for Dreamer, lands a wall bang, but unable to get the kill as the AK continues to spray. It's all on D. 1v3, and Dreamer catches him off for Fiend to take a consolation prize, but still being down by 3 rounds. Their T-side with a disaster. It's got to be recovery on a CT half after the break. Well, Fiend still be down by a few. 4Glory hold the lead for now, but will that change? It's the T-side half now for the Serbian squad. And Team Fiend, well, they have had a bit of a disaster so far in the T half. They need to turn it around on the defensive side. Otherwise, we could be looking at a sharp upset here in the V4 Future Sports Festival International Online Cup. Dreamer waiting for the first contact out of the tunnel, which is where 4Glory are going to go here. Smokes down, being seen by the man. Flashbangs to come over. No, just dry face in as the T-tier players tap their way forward. Bubble gets that first blood drawn out, trying to look for the second man. As Kindo's forward and Dreamer gets overwhelmed. 4 versus 4. Bomb will go down.
In terms of the retake, it doesn't look all that great. They've only got a flash and a kit to work with, and even for Serini, he's the one that's aggressed forward, giving them the man advantage. Victor's still starting to get into position, backstabbing into the upper tunnels.
We're going to walk up here, USP in hand. AVN sat back, and the T just going to wait for the CT peaks together. Flashbangs in. AVN still watching close. That flashbang would have faded by now. AVN spotted. Bubble can't get his headshot. We'll try to look for the player anyway. Victor back over the tunnel's entrance. Look towards back and plat, and 2 kills coming for Serini, D, and Collins. And it will be 10 to the board of 4Glory with a pistol.
It's a start, and it's exactly what the Serbians needed. Dreamer and Bubble just trying to peek on each other's contact out from big box and window, and it just came down to some of these fights. Victor not really being able to get much in the upper tunnels itself. Everyone just exploding forward. And for 4Glory, they're getting closer and closer to the upset victory.
AK in for Serini towards the lower tunnels. Coming in with the 4Glory side of the general default, sets itself up for what should be a big execution. Could well go towards mid control if they want to challenge Red Star. Either way, it's rifles v pistols. 4Glory have the advantage.
Yeah, Bubble is just going to try and see if he can get as much damage in from the back of Plat. I wonder how the molly actually gets all the way to his position, and if it even does at all.
Scout forward, tapping in for Bubble. AVN's going to be able to overwhelm Dreamer. The Scout does get 1 frag with damage done to 2 more players. Could be potential for these pistols to find their picks back, but they're not focusing on the forward individuals of the T-side line. AVN, another frag on the Mac 10. Red Star to fall, and Han and Victor, no chance for them to start this round and no chance to finish it.
Yeah, Han might as well go for it. He's only losing a P250. He's not losing any armor in the situation because he's decided to keep the investment quite light for him. So, all right, see what he can find. Victor, just hold on to what you've got. Bringing it into the next round. 4Glory, not even really taking many casualties. Yeah, damage has been done onto D and AVN. Collins was the only one that actually fell in that round.
One casualty and 1 casualty alone. The Mac 10 will get swapped out for a Galil, and they keep all the main weapons in for 4Glory. 11 to their board. Eco now up for Fiends. It starts to extend to become the major deficit that 4Glory had established over on Inferno now. We talk about how strong maps like Mirage and Dust 2 can be for Fiends. But this is looking like anything but. This is not the same squad that we had seen in previous affairs. And 4Glory, if they can punish them now, they can find the end of the map from this position and 2-0 their way into the V4 land. Like, that would be so upsetting for Fiend.
And for 4Glory, they've just got to keep working with this momentum. Keep the confidence up. Don't start being able to feel like you're the top dogs and, oh, 11-6, the game's over and done with. You've still got to really keep the composure right to the end. And this time around, they might even be running into a heavy stack on B. Yeah, there's not a lot of upgraded pistols. This can still be damaged, though.
Mac 10 will lead the charge into the sidelines. AVN gets that first kill. Collins can turn around 180. Realizes another CT inbound player out of window has been overwhelmed. And the pistols just get cleaned up by the guns here. Seeing if Collins can get a Mac 10 frag. Indeed, he does make it a double money gained. And 12 to 6 to the board of 4Glory now going into their bonus rifle round. Fiend on the hard invest.
And when you have a look at the results of 4Glory recently, last place in Malta Vibes, couldn't even come out of the Serbia qualifier for IESF. Even locally in the Adria Leagues, they haven't been doing all that well. They weren't able to make the LAN finals of the Gyro 50 Masters event, couldn't even make advanced playoffs. And now, with 4 rounds, they could make LAN. What a turnaround story this would be.
Watching in for Kinder. Of course, the same setup that we've seen 4Glory play so far here on the T-side line. Dreamer sat Ready alongside Bubble for the crossfire on the B side. No backup can get here in time, so if they get these 2 kills with no trades, it's going to be a safe call for Fiend. Nades doing their damage initially, might provide assistance for the kills themselves. Flashes over, Dreamer looking in. There's Bubble with his 1 kill. Kingdom's around focus fire against that man's going to burn alive. Collins will get that trade, but Dreamer's just waiting for his backup to arrive. For more T's to face him, their backs will be turned. No one's going to check this corner. Chance available, sees the bomb carrier, transfers back for the treble. Can't quite make it a triple. As D left alone in the 1 versus 3. Can secure the bomb plant, but everything else is going to be a surplus, and I think he realizes he might have his chances cut.
Just not checking the overlooked position, and Dreamer and Bubble just do so much work on the site. Hard even pushing forward of the molly in from 4Glory, and for Fiend, that gets him up to 7. And just the B players finding so much success. Really well handled from Bubble and Dreamer.
7th on the board for Team Fiend. They get there first of the CT half. 4Glory. It was a bonus round though. So a bomb plant enabling the money to continue to profiteer, enabling the rebuys to come in for them. Orpin, for D, AKs for everybody. Han, becoming the hero of that last round thanks to his aggressive AWP play in from the window control. Boost up for the AK, enabling some sort of flank position. Maybe Fiend might over-aggress here towards the longhouse. CTs in general are playing out their passive positions, waiting for 4Glory to force forward.
Yeah, Han, just for a moment thinking about an aggressive move from the short angle itself, realizes his best bet's to go back and go passive. And for 4Glory, just starting to now take some of that short control, get the Xbox smoke through. Han keeping eyes out for the longhouse. There is 1 lurk there for the T side. Someone's going to have to go back and get the bomb as well in top mid.
D thinking about his position. He's still watching out that mid control. It could well be Kindo that gets himself out of the longhouse and joins his teammates in the mid position. Nade tucked away for Collins. 4Glory. Waiting face. Waiting for face. Waiting for contact. Hit should come through towards the A side with 40 seconds left.
It's very silent, and it's allowed so much util to not be used at all by the Ts. It's going to be the full-blown execution out from the short position, and a very late lurk from long. I wonder if Fiend are going to expect this.
Flashes in, AK out against 2. Easy for Fiend. Red Star with his double, Victor with 1. D and Collins now left with the bomb being dropped out over on the short control. 15 seconds and way too far ticked on the timer. They can't get 1 exit on the way out. But this is going to be a round for Fiend as finally they look good on the CT half.
That's just Red Star being in the right position at the right time. Exit kills can even continue coming forward. Yes, that kill does come through before time ends. And Collins, the last player in for the lower tunnels, is the only one holding onto an AK. Now, AVM will be able to at least drop 1. Money's not great overall. And just the aggression. Red Star is not blinded at all by that flash because he's actually pushed forward in front of that flash.
Timeout taken. I imagine that this is by 4Glory this time. And they've used, I think, 3 of their timeouts thus far, which again is in line with how liberal they like to use. (12-8). Still they hold the advantage. Fiend have finally started to gain some ground back, finally started to catch up. Both sides investing into weapons around the saved AK. Orpin for D. Not quite as successful with the entries towards mid as he was on the CT side. For 4Glory. Spread out on the defaults. A bit more of an adjustment now in comparison to their previous few rounds.
And you'd have to think, even with Fiend being able to find a fair few succession rounds in a row, it's about creating more. You're still in a deficit of 4. And Collins putting down the notch smoke out for the mid position itself. Bubble thinking about spamming through, ops against it, has a teammate to try and back him up. And for 4Glory, I wonder when we see some pace, because really it has been very silent and very slow these last handful of rounds.
Two side players walking in, the AWP looking downrange in mid control. Flashes over for Serini, AK looking out towards Goose, looking out to the site. Smoke's back, and Nishi trying to indicate they're going to go for an early A play. The Incendiary on from Red Star will stop it if it is coming through. 50 seconds to the clock again. The time is going to be run similarly low for 4Glory. Red Star, the tension's been drawn though. Could be a CT play position, but 4Glory are going to make their way in for tunnels.
Dreamer catching the early information, and now they can start rotating players back over. Avian needs to get an immediate entry onto the side.
Oh, 2 sprays down the Dreamer. D can respond with AWP. Pick can double up as well. But now it's him and Collins. Collins can strike back from mid. 2v2. One player a car. D's got his back turned towards him. And that lurk play might be enough to seal it. Collins got a look in via CT spawn. Catch. Harney's caught the info back to his teammate. Gonna wait with the USP. Tap him in the back of the head. And get the 9th round for Fiend. And now it looks like the favorites in this series are back on a roll.
And just quite late to react, honestly, from the 4Glory side. So they go for the short fake and try and see if they can drive the rotations. And for a moment, they're pulling the attention from Red Star over. They then, CTs realise straight away it's going to be a fake call. Start bringing players back over from mid. And just Dreamer out from Big Box. A couple of kills from him is all that he was needed to find that initial contact.
Smokes on. Walk in for Serini out towards the mid doors, hunting for contest. Red Star. Expecting there to be something in from the mid position, but so far so little gain for 4Glory with their hand cannon upgrades and a half buy round. Look towards the A side play. Could catch a couple of picks and get a bomb plant. That would be a very successful round for them here.
Just get the run boost over. Try and see if they can bait out the AWP, and if they can get that bomb down to the short position, that's their best chance.
But does get baited as the teams pull their way back out to the site. Red Star has a spread out position to deal with. Does find 2 kills. Collins can get that trade, so the bomb can go down. Or not. The Molotov comes back in for victory. Burns the likes of Avian alive. Serini will also drop the same. And Collins with that bomb being dropped out towards the CT cross. Now got a hell of an effort to make happen. And Hans is going to shut him down. Well placed. Well positioned. And Fiend deny anything there for 4Glory.
It just feels as if, in terms of momentum, it's a breaker. 4Glory are starting to realize it's going to be more difficult than the first half was to really start getting rounds together. At least they've still got the lead that they can work with. Fiend, though, this is probably the best sequence we've seen for them in the entire Dust 2 so far.
Flashes in. Kindo making his way out of the gate here. CT players forcing their way forward. Going to try and look for Collins first and foremost. Red Star gets caught off guard by Kindo, though. 2 kills with a blind spray on the AWP, tagging him extremely low. Not quite getting a frag against him, but it's still a man advantage for 4Glory here.
A great start from the youngest player from 4Glory of Kindo, just to be able to open up that long position, get so much damage in. And now for Fiend, how do they really play this? You've got Han to play up on A. You've got Bubble that can be thinking about a rotation. Really, they need some info plays. They need a lurk attempt or some sort of idea to get a read on the situation. 4Glory, they slow it down, and they're even bringing that bomb out of the long position, which they already fought for.
Try and make their way back into the tunnels where the B side is completely opened up. They will lose D in the AWP battle. One out by the CT AWPer of Han, but now the B side player is going to have no resistance whatsoever. No battles to be taken by 4Glory. Just smoke the tunnels or smoke the B doors entrance, flash their way in. I say that, and there is no smoke actually for the CT side. They can't really come their way back in and try and find a re-smoke on. Cross out completely dry here for 4Glory. The bomb will go on to the site. It'll be a 3v3 retake.
I don't know if it will. I think this is just them looking for exit kills. They're not really adamant for going in for the retake. They need to get a kill in quickly, and, well, that doesn't happen. Yep, save now. There's nothing you can do.
Try head for it. Nades on. We'll try dish damage out to Kindo, but so far so little. Yeah, they will go for that save in the end. Losing that one casualty, like you mentioned, out of dodge. 4Glory find the 13th. Fiend. Very similar to the way things ended up in that last map, with 4Glory holding a very, very heavy lead. Fiend trying to bring in the comeback. Will it end in the same way, though? Can 4Glory get past the finish line in just the last few rounds? Or will Fiend turn the tide against them this time?
Well, it's a smart call, and it's an educated call to come in from Fiend. Money's low on Victor and Red Star. You've already lost the early contact out from Long. You don't really have any info plays. and they're walking into a B site that's completely opened up. So just hold on to the double orb, bring it into the next round, force all around it. We know that a lot of success has come through the last handful of rounds, so Fiend, don't waste it and just destroy your money for no reason. 4Glory, at least that gets them back in, right? Doesn't just continue that streak and make it 6, 7, 8 rounds. It's only 4 for Fiend. Oh, pressure's on for both of these teams. And this is where we start getting in very similar situations to where we were on Inferno in the late stages of the second half.
The third tactical timeout called in by Fiend. I think they recognize everything you just mentioned right there. They're in trouble. 4Glory can still find a 2-0 with the economy being where it is for the CT side. Double Orbs invested in and all. Got to win out this round. If they don't, then 4Glory could storm their way forward with not only a 15-10, but also with a series victory. AK out for Serini, caught by Dreamer. Manic spraying against Kindo, catches in blind bubble. There with the orb responsive, drops that bomb, flick onto the player at tunnels. Not quite ready for AVN, looking out for Collins at the back of Platt, catches the second AWPer and brings it to a 2v2. Bomb still got to get picked up and crossed to the plant position. The Molotov's in as Red Star tries to find his way out a window. Is anyone watching this? The nade comes in close, should dish out some damage. For the most part, AVN gets away unscathed.
Oh, that fight onto Han could be everything. That was the advantage that Fiend have. Victor's got a lot of utility, and Collins is at the back of the plat looking into the upper tunnels.
AVN watching and waiting. Red Star gonna walk away. Or reaggress. Victor catches Collins, and AVN's got a turnaround 180. Oh, can't hold the clutch. Victor keeps it alive for Fiend.
Oh, that comes down to the bare minimum. Victor getting the job down. The spin around not quite coming through to the instant connection. A Dreamer on the side just holding for as long as possible. Bubble as well doing damage in with that orb. And when Han aggresses out from window in the 3v2 advantage and loses the fight, you feel as if the advantage is completely gone. The retake on, and Victor doing work. AVN got so close, but couldn't get the clutch together.
And that clutch could have decided the map right there for 4Glory. If it had come through, that would have been enough. T-side walk out into the longhouse. Trying to establish another default, this time into the A-side play. They've gone B quite a lot, and Han this time is going to punish them for changing directions.
Just being able to pick off, get that opening man advantage, and really no one's even there for a fight back. Even just a dry swing, a run out into the AWPer. Fiend are just slowly but surely bringing this back. And for 4Glory, in terms of the success here on the second half, yeah, they had that 3-0 start. In terms of the rifles, though, they've only managed 1 round.
60 seconds left. Han is watching for the T side line, expecting some contact out here soon. Flashes forward, AWPer caught, not quite dead to Sereni's hands. We'll see him back on the site. Reface gets 1 kill. Serini can get that trade. Advantage still for Fiend with those 2 kills that came in for the AWPer. Got to look towards the site here. Gusa Victor is going to line up 3 kills. Maintain it for Fiend, who find their way within 1 of the lead.
Oh, it's getting closer. It's getting really tight in this position, and Collins just trying to see if he can get into pit, baiting out the AWPer. Han doing as much work as he can. A couple of kills up on the site that was much needed to set Victor up from that goose angle. 4Glory, even the buy state coming into the next. They've got an AK as a hero onto AVN and just upgraded pistols around it.
Hand cannons in, Tech 9 out for Collins.
Oh, it's fast in mid.
Fast play in towards mid control. You're right about that. Bubble can counteract for the first individual. Try to look for the second individual of his own. He does get overwhelmed by Kindo, and AVN fights for that AK. 3v3. Smoke at the cross. The bomb will go down. The retake is on, but they gain the advantage for the CT side.
Oh, they want to try and fight into the upper tunnels itself, and this fight to AVN could make the round difference. Red Star expects it, and now Kindo's got to do it all with a Deagle.
Gonna be the most hero-like clutch in the world. M4 picked up. Deagle's gonna fight onto the AWPer, but lose it overall. And Fiend will finally equalize 13-all. 4Glory may have gained the advantage, but much like that last map, the resurgence from Fiend has come in, and they've caught up to the leading opposition.
4Glory thinking to themselves, geez, this is tough. Really difficult to get it over. And in terms of the walkout from it pulled the attention over. It allowed them to overwhelm the B-side anchors relatively effectively. It just comes down to what happens when the bomb is actually planted. That's where the success does not continue coming in. Fiend. Honestly, to think that they've come 6 to 12 down, whether it's their map pick or not, shows a damn real sort of hunger, right, to get this map back in. And it makes a lot of sense knowing that they're down a map in the series already. Not a difficult position for them to now be in to think about taking the map when, well, you look at the scoreline, it's 13-13.
Yeah, not easy at all. Both sides biting for a very important round basis right here. AK's in, Orbs out, straight engagement for Kindo, trying to see if he can fight that first player with the CT side. And so far, so little has been gained. No opening duels. 4Glory struggling with their defaults. When, where, and how do they find their advantage above the CT side?
I need to create some space, an opening man advantage, a smoke down into mid doors to try and see if they can overwhelm Han, even just getting baited out. HE going up to that Xbox position, not really a lot of chip damage being done. Not interested on taking any of this long control, instead trying to set themselves up for further util to short, see if they can force any of the orbs even further back from Han.
In the area set for Dream Engine and try and force AVN out of position over here towards the tunnel's entrance. Flashes forward, T-side players making their moves. Smokes on. Molotov's out as well. Flashes up, sprays back from Red Star. Trying to dish out the damage, but so far just damage is all he can get. Collins through the smoke, finds Bubble, leaves it all to the likes of Dreamer as Collins doubles up. And 4Glory find a fantastic execution. Fiend are falling back. It's going to be a lead regained by 4Glory.
And it comes down to the big man, doesn't it? We know Collins has been a superstar for 4Glory. These last few rounds, they've been lacking that superstar potential. And my goodness, he just rips through 2 kills coming down onto that B-side. And Fiend had the read. They realized what was going on. Red Star smoked in CTs trying to spam away. Bubble and Dreamer putting counter utility down to both window and those doors position, slowing down the T-side. And Collins just gets 2 immediate entries. What a great take of the B-side. And that allows 4Glory to take the lead back themselves.
Oh, missed money there for AVN. Unfortunately, can't lead to any more exit frags, but I think Fiend will be happy with that at the very least. 14-13. 4Glory off the back of their final tactical pause gain the lead again, but can they turn it into a map win from here? This is the exact same position we were in before they took over a 16-14 above the Fiend side. There's a rebuy, of course, for the CTs, as you would expect here. A little bit of savings with 3 rifles held in from the last round. Nice nades, damage done to AVN, Kindo, Serini caught a little bit of that as well.
Yeah, beautiful start. That is really what you're hoping for with the early HE into the upper tunnels. And if they go B, if they go for the exec, they're going to be running into the stack. There's 3 players on B.
That here with the CT side, flashes over for Collins. Here comes the util, hard stack in. Fred Star can get that first and that second. Victor with a crossfire held together, damage has been done. Dreamer comes up with 2 of his own. And it's locked out again for Fiend. 4Glory. 4 evens for Fiend, 14 apiece. The last man gets picked up and there were no kills in that one for the T side.
Ah, what a read coming through from Fiend. And you can see the way that Collins is trying to drive the attention, and the CTs just aren't moving. At any time you B exec without really much of a mid to B split as well, and you're going into a B side with 3 players, you know there's going to be decimation. You know it's going to be tough to open it up, and not any entry kills came through for them at all.
Smokes down, flashes forward, Kindo needs to catch his CT out in the open. They're both completely blinded by the flash. He gets that one, can't find that second. No! The nade from Han gives a bit of assistance to 4Glory. Pandemonium, everybody was blind there at long. And it comes out good for 4Glory for now.
AVN's still lurking in the upper tunnels. He's trying to see if he can bait out a mistake, force an over, rotate, force Dreamer to get aggressive in the matter. They've got D into the pit position, waiting for a jiggle, waiting for any information out for the long side, and there's so much time and utility to work with. Slow it down and force out mistakes.
Dreamers alone. No backup this time. Most of it got killed off. Hard long send from the CT side, and it came up better for 4Glory. Maintaining a man advantage with this AWP D still trying to pull their attention back, trying to bait in rotations. Gonna look for kills. The flashes come over, and there's Dreamer with a pick back. Rotations inbound. The AWP can still strike back here for D. Keep your eyes on that minimap. Quick catch a kill. Indeed he does. Sprays through for Collins. Gets Dreamer blinded, and hard on rotate back in from tunnels. Has got to go for this retake. He's got no choice. Leaning in from tunnels. Sees the player at big box, but cannot catch his kill. Molotov to force him away. He's got a kit and everything, but now the flank is inbound for D, and Hahn is escaping to retreat.
Oh, I don't even know if that's the right call, right? They're going to be able to afford the AWP in the next round anyway. Maybe thinking about the money being tight for Bubble. D, great wraparound into the A side, even looking for an exit kill, and they know exactly where Hahn is. They're going to go hunting. They know the importance of dropping this AWP.
They get rid of that. It's going to leave such little for Fiend to work with. They've got savings at the very least, but this AWP enables a full buy, even potentially the double AWP setup. He does catch D. 4Glory. I think they're not going to get away with this, but they will get away with 15-14. Map and match and qualification point for the V4 LAN. In a 2-0 fashion against Fiend. What world are we living in where 4Glory could pull this off?
But no one saw it. No one expected it to come in, and now one more round is going to be the test to really see if it can come through. Double AWPs coming in for Hahn and for Red Star into round 30. We were here in the last map of Inferno. We know how that went down.
Can Fiend flip the narrative on their head and make us play out Dust 2 for just a little bit longer to try and take their own map pick away from 4Glory? Or is this a 2-0? Is this 4Glory booking their tickets to Budapest? Looks set in for the B-side execution. It's been a bit hit and miss for 4Glory. It depends on Fiend's setup. They haven't got the 3-man stack this time, though.
Molly going out to Dreamer's position. That could force him out to the open. Resmoke goes down. They know that he's there.
He still burns a little bit. The smoke doesn't catch all the incendiary. The damage has been done as Dreamer escapes. Great flash to support him, of course. DT's bail out there, man. Look to spray through, catch these T-side players off. So far, so little. Been gaining on the kill department. It's just a HP advantage for 4Glory.
Jeez, they've been loving B in this T-side half, and now this is the situation again of do they run into the stack? Victor's the third player over to the B side. Flash over the top. It's going to start allowing them to get some mid-control, and now look up to short.
Rotates in quick, on set with the AWP. Burst kill, almost lined it up for a collat. Nades back into the T-side line, the second AWP of Red Star. Can't land a shot on the first man, neither does he get the second connection. Serini trains it, and that might open up the A side. CTs get driven away, going back in for the retake.
Yeah, up to the short position, the CT's going quite aggressive, and Victor deals with the first onto the site itself. Man advantage now for the CTs.
Well, it takes a while to bloom. Bit of a gap there to work with, so Victor's going to make his way in. Meanwhile, Bubble acting out from short. Sees the AWPer. D with AVN's AWP. Going to set himself onto the site. Starch little map control for the T-side bases. Victor gets another great kill. He's so low, but so is AVN. D's got to do so much work here. Misses his first shot. Victor runs out of bullets, but still the trade's not there. And Fiend will fire their way to 15 as we go to overtime as the Bulgarians try and stay alive.
Oh my goodness. OT, here we come again. And up in the short position, notice how many flashes there are for the T-side. None of them get used on that early contact. And this aggressive play from Serini, that's a round sort of win or loss in one kill, isn't it? He finds that pick out to CT. There's so much composure in the round. They've got the time to work with. Instead, it doesn't go his way, and Fiend just start overwhelming on the retake.
And overwhelm is what they did at the end. 15 apiece. Overtime for our second map of the series. 4Glory so close to getting this 2-0, and still they've got a chance to make it happen. But in the overtime now, Dweg, the pressure just resets itself. Both teams still got a lot to play for.
Yeah, this is turning out to be a really close best of three, and it just makes you think how 4Glory just weren't able to close. They were up 9-6 at the half. They were able to get off to an early start, up 12-6 as well. Really started to chip in a couple of rounds here or there. They had the opportunity of closing. It didn't quite come out.
This one's come down to as close of a wire as you could possibly get it here. And 4Glory is still on for the 2-0. They've had a 2-0 potential for like the longest time so far here on Dust 2. So I still feel like Fiend are on a back foot, and they've got so much more to prove and so much more to adjust for going into this OT. At least they'll have that CT side where things really start to come together for them to start things off. Before Glory, we've seen how good these executes can come out at times. If they get enough of those on the T side half, that could be enough to win this series.
Well, for 4Glory in the second half, we just saw big exec over and over. So maybe the mindset going into OT is let's have some more variation. Let's have some more short takes and out from long. Because in terms of early long contacts, we really didn't see a lot for the Serbians.
And when they did go for it, it did work out semi-successful. I mean, in general, all the positions that they took were a bit hit and miss. Depends on the circumstances, depends on Fiend's setup overall. 4Glory, a couple of different bits and pieces going right for them, and this actually could have well been their map and their match. They're standing in a 15-15 deficit, standing in a complete evens into overtime. Fiend bought a lifeline here. What do they need to do to capitalize on that and take us to a third map?
They've just got to keep pressure on. They've got to make sure that they're keeping the mindset of this is still on and this is going to be a battle. Just keeping the energy too in terms of the comeback and trying to see if they can actually lead from the front, because something that they struggled with on both Inferno and on Dust 2 was actually being able to sort of really put pressure on early, and now going into OT, they've got the opportunity of doing so.
There's Dust 2 on their map pick, and it's maybe starting to wonder whether or not picking into this map above Mirage was a good idea for Team Fiend. Let us go way too close. And 4Glory, the significant underdogs that you mentioned in this series, a team that should have been easily dispatched of by Fiend, and we said 2-0 at the start of the day. And here we are looking for a 2-0 instead for 4Glory. Flashes in, or pervading contact, taking a bit of damage for Collins. The CTs won't extend too far here. That AWP D is going to get nothing. Util just pulls in for the CT side. They try and reaggress, and the smoke goes down to siphon them away.
Yeah, Fiend just being able to work that early long contact, taking all the map control away. Even Red Star is waiting for a slight jiggle or even a move up to the Xbox position from the lower tunnels of exactly where Sereni's posted.
Work on Orpin. The watches and waits. Sereni. One of the lower tunnels expected there to be CT aggression, but Team Fiend just want to hold their angles. They don't want to make a move at all.
Does Han even get mollied from this position? Very dry on the approach. Victor's playing out from the blue bin, and Red Star out from mid is going to be able to strike with Victor.
Han held away as Victor looks for a bit more, lines up a ton of damage. Molotov the way, at long last should be able to allow that kill to come in. He burns, but there's another CT back there with AWP support as well. Collins going to work his way in from short. Flash in, going to try and draw the attention of Red Star back. Bubble's going to get caught, tagged up. Red Star gets overwhelmed, and now they've got to deal with this long player, but still Han holds his own. 3-on-2, tags up D. The AWP faces, gets his no-scope, but now needs to get the bomb to cross.
They need one smoke to get over. They don't quite have that second. Collins has got to be able to try and peek forward of it. There's a backstab coming in for Dreamer. They're going to pass the bomb over. They don't know about this backstab just yet.
They're going to look for it. Dreamer pulls out the knife at the wrong time. The Bubble gets Collins in that gap and a smoke. Drops that bomb. It's a 1v1, 8 seconds. D's got to pick it up and plant it down. And Default is his best bet. Into the short swing. Bubble's going to go. And Fiend have the lead.
Oh, that whole round is just back and forth. You don't know which way it's going to go. A 5-on-3 advantage coming through from Fiend. Han working the best that he can, getting no-scoped out from D. Great round for the AWP overall, just not being able to get the clutch together, not getting that bomb down straight away, and Bubble watching the cross up to the site itself gives Fiend the lead in the first OT.
Bashes in, Kinder gonna make his way out here. AK turned away from Victor, gonna spray through and dish out his damage. Collins can respond. A 4 versus 4. Molotov's in AVN, gonna get incendiaried back. Has he got a smoke in? No, he hasn't. He's gonna burn. And that's another kill by proxy with Victor coming in with another blind spray. 3 kills to his name as 4Glory have capitulated here in this round.
D's been able to walk completely out of B or into mid. Now, if he deals with Dreamer, that opens up the B site. He has to find a kill, though.
Waiting for rotations, and Victor might not be ready for this position. The concern is going to be the player on the site, though. He has no idea of D's angle. Victor might not be ready for this either. He's watching in from mid. Now D's got to turn his attention towards the site execution, which is what he's going to try and do. Great shot. They have the B site. He looks back in for a bit more, but cannot seem to maintain another good frag.
Still a difficult round for 4Glory to win. 2v3, get that bomb down out to the site. D's got some more utility. He needs a pick, though. They've got to find another fight.
Up ready. AK standing on site. Shots ringing out for the CT forces. Collins going to get right up close and personal. Nades to the back lines, dishing out no damage. Nobody's there for the T side. Collins going to have to evade position coming in towards the B. Tunnels. Oh, the calamity is good enough for 3. Collins gets his own double. And 4Glory in the blink of an eye get control.
That's another sick recovery coming forward. Very similar circumstance in from that last round in terms of the man advantages coming through. D has been able to find a great window of opportunity, and the lineup out for the tunnels gets away with a couple of kills. Collins helps him out into the mix, and 4Glory, they tie up.
16 apiece. Incendiary sets up, and the T-side players make their way into their default positions. 4Glory hunt for their 17th. Can they get it? Can they capitalize above Fiend's advantage? Can they get this T-side up in the advantage again? Can they maintain the all-important 2-1 score at the turn of the half? One player out of the gate. This is risky for AVN. Smoke in the way will not allow a peek in from the CT players. They're trying to bait in an aggressive mistake.
Yeah, interesting approach, trying to see if they can catch the rotators from D. Notice how he's playing on the short side, and with that fake coming in from AVN, they're waiting for the CTs to go out into the open. Didn't quite find the impact they would have looked for, and now with a minute on the clock, they can set themselves up to slow down the default. Think about a split into the A side from short and from long itself.
(17-16) at the end of this round, but the question is for whose advantage? For Fiend or for 4Glory? 14 seconds, time is running short. They've played this default out long enough now. They've got to go for the XE. They cannot afford to drop that bomb in an awkward position. They'll pass it off to AVN for that red star. Ready to get on top of the boost. Hans Orp set in, looks towards elbow and catches Serini. Flashes coming over towards long. Victor catches the player that comes out of there. Kindo the drop, as does Collins, as does AVN. D left alone towards Gandalf, caught off by Bubble on the short flank, and Fiend come out on top at the turn of the half.
That was a fantastic couple of rounds from them, and honestly could have been a 3-0. When you think about some of the way those rounds were being played out, they were dominant, they were threatening, and for 4Glory, they've got to turn it around going into the second half. Otherwise, for Fiend, this could be them just pushing themselves towards victory road and pushing us to a third of Ancient.
Sorry. I know that's a warm-up shot right there for Serini, but that was really, really funny. Bit of comic relief in what has been otherwise an intense set of rounds. 4Glory recognizing that they could still concede to Fiend at this stage. They need to come back in with a responsive, and it is their CT half up next.
Now, you'd have to imagine as well for Fiend and for 4Glory, opening picks could be everything. Opening advantage might change the way of the round. Who is going to really be that hungry factor of getting it over the line? And it really does show how similar this series is for Fiend, like it was yesterday. Have a look at the way that it played out against Wisla Krakow. We went into OT on map 1 of Overpass, they lost that, went into Dust 2, 16-14, and then map 3 they got swamped. And now going into what you would assume being easier competition in the lower bracket up against 4Glory has been the exact same fight and test for them.
They're down by a round. And set with a double orb, set up to go straight into that longhouse challenge. Look at the number of T-side forces that will come out of here. D gets his kill on the first man. Smoke planning a bit of cover, trying to get behind the harder cover here at this CT cross. And Dreamer still catches that player. Kindo holds his own AWP, picked up of his dead teammate as the AWP of Serini leans in. Can't get caught by the T-side. They might flank in from suicide though. Does that bomb rotate? Yes, it does, but Serini does not get the kill for his trouble.
Oh, come on. Those have got to be hit. That's the bomb being dropped. Now, it is an information play. It allows AVN to start pushing forward in the upper tunnels, have a couple of players on the A side, and that one kill. You can't be affording to miss shots like that.
Yeah, both of the double AWP players finding little to no impact. D with that one frag. It's been traded so effectively, and Serini got nothing. Yes, the AWP is in the hands of Kindo now. But he's going to be so good with this. And he's not even watching where the T-side players are coming from. He's covering off short, leaving Collins alone at CT spawn to go for a retake, and imagine, against Team Fiend when they get this bomb down, which is exactly what they'll do. The AWP starts leaning, caught off by Red Star. What a counter.
This is the round pretty much done. You might as well go for it, considering the money state. How difficult is this going to be? Collins with the M4 just hoping for a timing flash over the top. Can't even find anything. Dreamer and Red Star finding a couple of kills each, and even Red Star makes it 3. What a beautiful round from Fiend. Being able to punish the mistakes in terms of the over-aggressive play with the AWP art. And just 4Glory, all of those AWPs, even when they switched hands, just no impact really being found.
That shot for Serini. I mean, imagine what it could have been like had he hit that connection up towards top of mid. Killed off that player, dropped that bomb. Information's all great and all. They needed a bit more than that, though. D will start off this round on the correct foot, finding Han. Again with a swing out from the mid doors. Hell on the suicide boxes, and the advantage goes the way of 4Glory very early in this round.
They're desperate for more picks, and that is at least the start in the round that they're looking for. Red Star thinking about putting a notch smoke in. No wallbang attempt coming through from the AWP route and CT. D is still holding quite aggressive with AVN.
Looking for feet. Can't see them. He has now. Will catch that kill on Bubble through that smoke. All important pixel gap to be utilized. They're going to resmoke the doors for certain. T turn on Red Star for 3. Adjustment direct to the head, and D goes massive in mid with Serini chiming in, not whiffing this time. It's a 1v5 for Victor.
Oh, D, what a sequence that is out from mid. The confidence just keep peeking through. Double dipping, triple dipping out. It might even look for the quad. Doesn't quite come through. Victor's got a bit of a line into the A side. Avian's seen him going up to short.
Now the season's going to adjust towards this here. Just a 90 sort of mid-presence. Kinder's going to turn away from the flashbang, win out the fight. Nice, effective and easy. 17 to 4Glory, and they're not out of this one just yet. Another round to go to a second overtime for Fiend. It's all about the map win.
D really showing up when it matters the most. Up against the back. Off the map point itself. Great shot. Really consistent. And sometimes when you get into OT, right, you just need star moments. And you need huge impact rounds. And right there for 4Glory, that was the one.
Smokes on position to the CT side, trying to siphon off the tunnel's entrance. Fiend into their default. Smokes on with the Molotovs back into the mid control. The T's are going to try to work their way up to the A site, it feels like. Nades for now, jump facing, and this time no potential for D to find that pick. He's out towards the CT spawn, that cross out from short. He does get baited in by the initial utility play.
D just going back further passive and start driving the CTs to keep a bit more of an eye on that long position in case of a walkout. D getting further aggressive. This is risky. He doesn't have support around him.
Nice set. We go quiet. Very, very silent here on Dust 2. Sprays through for AVN, gets that one engagement. Red Star can find the trade. Now lead the charge back into the long position. D's going to get caught on the walls. He flashed off blinded. Collins with one frag, not quite two. Dreamer so low though. The Molotov will try force D away. He'll Molotov off that CT cross. Red Star involved. Dreamer gets his pick back. Nade so low on HP, and still the CT just can't hold off for it. 3-on-2 advantage now for Fiend in the post plant.
Oh, this looks promising. Very strong from Fiend, and even the crossfire being set. Red Star behind the smoke. The boost comes up. Kindo's not seeing anything.
Drakeman's just barely out of his pixel vision. Boost up again here in the first. Scopes up. Gets his shot. 2v2. Orb swings for Serini. Can't land it. Red Star and Han with the crossfire. Kindo comes up. 1v1. Red Star with one simple spray to win out the clutch and hold it at 19 to 17. Team Fiend take us to a third map.